Good afternoon everybody, welcome back to Thought for the Day. All this week I'm taking you through 5 object lessons that I've used over the years in ministry. I've been in ministry nearly about 20 years now, or near enough 20 years, and over the course of those times I've used various methods of communication, but one thing I love to do is something called the object lesson. And that's really where you take an everyday object or an illustration or a game and you attach a sort of a deeper spiritual meaning to it. And the idea behind it is that the point you're making is reinforced by the object, and people remember the thing you did and they remember the point you're making. So over the years I've done various things. Some have been smelly, some have been messy, a couple have been gross as well, but hopefully people have remembered what I've done. One thing that sticks in my mind is what happened here just a few years ago. We had our annual harvest service, a civic service. Members of the town council come, and I remember feeding somebody a spoonful of coffee, and much to her horror, it made me laugh and the congregation, and I made a point about food because it was harvest as well. So yesterday we talked about a sheet of paper and how we talked about get to heaven. Can you get to heaven by flying or by boat or by space rocket? And I opened it up by folding it, and you can get to heaven only through faith in Jesus Christ. So today I want to take you through another object lesson that I've used a few times, which I really like, and I think it's got a lot of mileage into making a very, very important point. So here I have a bit of paper. Now this bit of paper is worth £10, £10 of gold. Actually, in days gone by, this represented a promise by the bank that if you took this bit of paper in, they would give you £10 worth of gold. That doesn't happen anymore. But this bit of paper is worth how much? £10, you're correct. So at the moment it's worth £10. If I fold this bit of paper in half, what's it worth? That's right, £10. What if I fold it again, so it's a bit smaller? What is it worth? You're right, £10. What if I keep folding it so it's really tiny, screwed up like that? Is it still worth £10? Yeah, it is. Okay, so what if I take this £10 note? What if I don't really worry about my folding. What if I sort of screw it up like that and into a little tiny little ball in my hand? What's it worth? Yeah, it's still worth £10. Now what if things take a really gross turn of events? What if I kind of wipe my face with it to sort of wipe off some of the afternoon sweat? What's it worth now? £10. What if I'm kind of gross and do a bit of that with it as well, a bit of armpit washing? What's it worth now? £10. What if I was to blow my nose on it? That's kind of gross. Would it still be worth £10? The answer is, of course, yes, it will be beyond gross. But this bit of paper, no matter what I do with it, is always worth £10. It doesn't matter how much grit and grime and nasty stuff it's covered in. It doesn't matter how much it smells. This bit of paper is always worth £10, no matter what I do with it, because its value is inherent to what it is. This is a £10 note. It doesn't matter what is put on top of it. It remains a £10 note. And so the lesson of that is obvious, I hope. Each one of us has inherent value. The Bible tells us in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 27, this very important point. It says, so God created mankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Let me read that again. So God created mankind in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. Right towards the end of the book of Genesis, having described the creation of the cosmos and the world and the trees and the plants and the fish and the animals and the land, God gets to the pinnacle of his creation, which is us. Unlike anything else that God has just created, the Bible tells us that he creates humankind, male and female, in his image. Nothing else that God has created, and he's created everything up until this point, has been given such a wonderful description as to have been created in the image of God. And there are so many ramifications of that one word, image, about how a relationship, about what we're created for and purpose. But one of the applications of that verse is around purpose and worth and identity. You see, like that £10 note, we find ourselves often covered in dirt and muck and stench of decisions that we get wrong, things that we do to other people, things other people do to us. And we can look at ourselves sometimes and feel this sense of unworthiness, of dirt and muck, and we can say we're not worth anything. But the Bible disagrees with us, because the Bible, God, sees what we're really worth, no matter what attaches itself to us. Because every single one of us, me and you, no matter what has happened to us, has an inherent worth. Not based on what we've done or do or said or done to us, but based on the fact that we are made in the image of God. And so it's no wonder then, for thousands of years after that moment, a long time after that description in Genesis 1:27, God should go to the ultimate length to redeem what we're worth. In the same way that you could have taken this to the bank a long time ago and got that gold, he sent his Son to redeem us. He kept his promise made in that very same Garden of Eden, that one day the Son would come to crush the serpent who brought sin into the world. And he would come and he would redeem us from the dirt that surrounds us. He would wipe us clean so that in the sight of God we would be seen as holy. We would be able to go into his glory, into heaven, known as children of the living God. That one day, if we put our faith in Jesus Christ, that dirt is wiped away. We are wiped clean, and we can look in the mirror and know exactly what we're worth. Children of God. So never think you are worth less. Know your true worth in Jesus Christ. You're worth so much that God sent his Son to give you a way out of sin and darkness because he loved you that much. God bless, and we'll see you tomorrow. Sorry, I jumped the gun there slightly. Before I leave, don't forget 1 o'clock this afternoon, we have our second Community Connections event live on Facebook and YouTube, exactly where you've accessed the Thought for the Day from. We've got Emma Selby, who is a leading child psychologist, and she's going to be speaking to us about children's mental health and some of the things that our children have been going through during COVID-19 lockdown. So come back in just a few minutes' time and watch and listen to Emma. But also, if you manage to miss it, if you're unable to join us, you can catch up, just watch the video that's been recorded as well. But God bless, and we'll see you soon. Thanks. Goodbye.